people have shown up here, and obviously I don't see them anymore because they're off traveling, right? They're doing their thing. So we have people who are now in Bangkok and they're now in Australia, and they're traveling, right? So they came through the city, they wanted to see what's going on, and that's what we provide. So for the yearly agenda, this is what I have up until August for right now, right? So for March, we'll be launching your Thriving Remote Career. We're going to be touching a lot on like South by later on in this topic because South by is coming up. If you live in Austin, you know how important it is to be at South by. But as far as up to August goes, this is what I have right now. Now again, if you live in Austin and you're here, come check it out. If you're traveling, that's part of the lifestyle. So, any questions on that? All right. So this is the introduction for me. So my name is Chris. I've been doing this for a while now. My job is basically to help you get out of 9 to 5, right? Get into this lifestyle because for some people it is really hard to get out of 9 to 5s. And I teach the other program where I show people like, hey, if you don't want to travel and you want to work for yourself still, I show you how to do rise and trend one-person businesses, which is every fourth Monday, which is the following Monday from now. We'll be on the 16th floor covering that, right? So that's where I show people how to scale their businesses, 6-7 figures, and show them like what tools are available to do that. So if you're afraid of traveling, that might be more for you. And if you want to travel and make money, this is where you're supposed to be. So with that, I help people build their own teams. So that means I usually get your first assistant, right? If you don't have an assistant, that's what I do, right? I've also learned, as I've been doing this, I now help people find where they need to be. And I've learned that's the hard part for a lot of people is knowing where you really need to be and what rooms you don't know exist, right? So that's turned into another interesting business for me because there's so many things going on around Austin or Texas that sometimes you miss out on. Here, Nomad, hey, come on in. Oh, it's been a while. How's it going? Good to see you.
Very good to see you.
Yeah, wow. So I met this guy a long time ago at a Dubai real estate event. So, and if you can pass that sign-in sheet around for those who haven't signed in. But yeah, so with that, we're going to get into introductions. So for everybody here, you're going to say your name, where you're from, do you currently work remote, what are you working on, where do you travel to, and go from there. So we'll try to keep it under 30 seconds, and if you want, we can start with this lovely lady.
I am Ellen. I am originally from Florida. I live here in Austin now. I do work remote, and I work as a PT scout, and I also do technical marketing and business development.
Just the name, right?
Your name and email.
Oh.
Yeah, your name.
And business development is what I do now. I've traveled to 11 countries last year, so that'll take more than 30 seconds. But my favorite place is Portugal, and I also like Amsterdam.
Oh, yes.
And the least favorite, I guess, Munich. It wasn't that interesting to me of other European cities. And then pain point is, yeah, like finding the right mix of having a VA to do the work and also sales and marketing.
Okay.
So.
Great. And I actually will bring up an article because I will be showcasing this next week as well that just came out today. And it's pretty groundbreaking, but we'll get to that later on. All right, so how about we start in the next row?
My name is Daniel Hotsky. I'm originally from Czech Republic, and I've been in Austin for a while. I worked 7 before,
Okay.
but it's for East Coast place. It would be nice to work, remotely. I've actually worked from a couple different countries, but it's always for a company that basically pays me on a weekly or monthly basis. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I work on databases. I've traveled to many places around the world. Favorite places. My favorite place is Greece. Yeah. And least favorite place. Austin. Pain points you're dealing with in your business. Dumb managers. That's it.
Alrighty, and then lovely, yes.
Lucia, and I'm Luciana Nicos. I'm from originally from Brazil.
Alright.
Remote. I don't currently work remote. Well, hybrid right now.
Sure,
I
yeah.
used to. independent,
Okay.
location independence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doing consulting work in the furniture and design industry, so trade
Okay.
shows, and so when that was consulting work, it was a lot easier, but now,
Sure.
now I'm in Austin, and this is my favorite place.
Hey, what happened to your business?
Oh, good question. We can talk later, but it's Fingertip.
Oh, yeah.
Blood, that's the company that I work for now, creating events
Was it
for
that
them.
one that was over there that I
Yes.
saw? Yes, okay, yeah,
Yes.
they do blood tests and stuff.
Better health, right?
Yes.
Better health, better way, I'm sorry,
Okay.
better way. It's
Oh.
a better way.
All right, good.
Um,
And she has a South by Southwest bag with her.
Oh,
Yeah,
because,
that's right.
yes, fascinates me.
Yes.
I worked there last year, I worked this year with new companies, volunteer work, and
Good.
a little bit of everything. Yeah, so.
That's it? Okay. All right, good. And then next?
I'm Grayson, I'm from Texas. Don't currently work remote, but I guess I'm also not doing anything, so it's kind of remote.
Okay.
Traveled to, actually haven't really left Texas much. I went to Costa Rica once, and that's probably my favorite place.
Okay.
Least favorite place, there's a little town here in Texas called Abilene. It's pretty miserable. Pain points, currently, I guess just in business in general, I guess it's an outlook of whether or not anything really has for.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I know. All right, and then we'll start with Scott.
Yeah, so my name is Scott Thompson. I'm from Texas. I've been in Austin for 30 years. I was born in Lubbock, so I'm a Texan. I grew up in Europe, so I've traveled to a lot of places there. I guess my favorite place is often the last place I just visited. I like to travel, and yeah, so I guess the last place overseas was Scotland. I was there a few years ago. And then the least favorite place, probably close to places in Texas, but I guess overseas would be Nicaragua. I was in Nicaragua for a while.
Hey, what's up? Come on in.
Yeah. I thought Costa Rica was a lot better. And I guess the pain points I'm dealing with is I'm a designer and specialize in UX design, and trying to understand what 2.0 is with the current state of it.
Sure, yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
Hi everybody, I'm Simon. I'm from Berkeley, California. I do currently work remote all but 4 days of the year, which I spend in the office in Maryland. So,
Okay.
but I live here and I work remote here most of the time.
Okay.
And I work in corporate development, and yeah, I've traveled a lot. My favorite place is Paris. My least favorite place is also Abilene, Texas. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have, maybe Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Any pain points? So my main pain point is that I would like to be a digital nomad, but I can't because of all these different compliance, tax, security reasons where it's just really hard to work from abroad in the corporate setting. And I was hoping some of you folks might have some ideas about
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's why I do this, because again, when y'all fill out the form to register, a lot of y'all put you want to meet other people doing this, right? And that's why we're doing the intros and stuff. So, I will just throw on go.
Hello everyone, my name is Malik. I was born in Chicago.
Alright.
I currently do not work remote, but it is something I am wanting to do a lot more.
Sure, absolutely.
I work in the service industry at the moment.
Okay.
On the side, I'm just doing business ideas and stuff. I've traveled to South Korea,
Okay.
Switzerland, just recently came back from Spain. Spain is my favorite place for sure.
I bet.
Yeah, I feel like I belong there, honestly. The least favorite place I've been is probably downtown LA. Should I be honest?
Surprised nobody said Detroit yet.
Any main points I'm dealing with my business? Not currently. I'm sure there's going to be plenty coming up. At the moment, it's a lot of things I can't talk about yet.
Sure,
But,
absolutely.
It's still early.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
I'm Samantha. I am from Austin.
Okay.
I am in the service industry as well. I'm a bartender, so I usually work nights. I've traveled to many places, but I definitely want to travel more. I would say Isla Mujeres
Oh.
is my favorite place
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Loved it, loved it, loved it. Least favorite, I would say I wasn't a big fan of Colorado Springs. I do like Colorado. I love the mountains, but like Colorado Springs itself, I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Is it the legal requirements that the buildings can only be so high that there's zero?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
Any pain points? I mean, right now I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I know I don't want to be in the industry forever.
Right.
I want to get out as soon as possible.
Are you going to be in it during South by? Because that's going to be huge.
I know. I did do it a couple years ago,
It's rough,
and
right?
honestly, I totally forgot whenever I was like, oh yeah, South by is coming up. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
interested to learn
All
more.
right. Thank you. Yes. All right. Next.
My name's Rob. I'm originally from Wisconsin, but I've been in Austin for about 30 years.
Okay.
I currently do work from home. I'm a technical support engineer for a software company,
All right.
doing customer support. And travel, I just got back from Bogota a week or two ago.
Nice.
And then in the past I've traveled to Scotland and Australia.
Okay.
Least favorite, or favorite place, probably just Bogota just because it's the most recent.
Sure.
Least favorite, Vegas.
Okay.
And pain points, sort of what he was talking about, just like difficulties, like where I can go and work with, at least with the company that I'm with right now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I totally understand that. Thank you. Yeah. Next.
My name is Mark Smith. I am based here in Austin now. I sort of work remote and I don't. My brother and I own a startup in smart vending machines, so some of it, of course, is remote, and some of it is lots of travel, and some of it is literally just driving around Austin taking care of those. I have lived in California, Florida, Colorado, New Jersey, Wisconsin, and now Texas. Least favorite place was definitely New Jersey. Not my favorite. I much prefer more open spaces. Also, my favorite place was Southwest Colorado.
All right.
That was
Nice.
pretty great.
Yeah.
If you've lived there for any amount of time, it's pretty much unlike anywhere else in the world. It's pretty awesome. Pain points. I'm running a startup.
Yep. That's all pain.
There's very little that's not pain. So.
So the reason why Mark is actually here is because I sent him an article about a vending machine restaurant in Ireland, and it came out in the news recently, and you walk in, it's all vending machines. Now, of course, if you've been to Japan, they have a lot of that stuff there already, and it surprises me that like you come to Austin and you don't have a place that's 24/7 and it's a vending machine place, right?
It surprised us as well, which is why we're running a startup.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day, honestly.
We can connect and we can think about it more together.
Yes, if you've ever wanted to learn about vending machines, that is the man in this room, and he can show you all kinds.
Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I have 9 children. I will not remember you unless we connect on a digital Rolodex where I can remember who you are.
Yes. Great, thank you. All right, next. Yep.
Yeah, my name is Ron, and I run something called the Skyler Network. It's basically a way for digital nomads to build communities around their business. It's a place where they can build know, like, and trust relationships. A place for them to actually have workspaces, and being able to connect with their audience in a tokenized community that they own, and complete, if you will, with the ability to connect to 250,000 other digital nomads. And I also want to start up, so like, sure, hey, don't do it. My only advice is don't do it.
Yeah. All right, so I do want to introduce somebody who travels like all the time, and that is Daniel.
Oh. Hey guys,
Hey,
I'm
Daniel.
I do travel all the time. I just came back from like 2 months in Vienna, so that was fun. And then skiing in Montana like last weekend or 2 weekends ago, I guess. So yeah, I don't I work and travel more than I work remotely, I guess. I'm a program manager, and least favorite place, I guess, is probably New Jersey. I grew up in Delaware, so a little bit of a rivalry of sorts. All they do is like flutter malls, you know, and like just buy massive TVs. There's no sales tax in Delaware, so anything that's like really expensive, people want to buy in Delaware. So that's usually gigantic TVs or like washing machines. It looks like people like stole a bunch of stuff every time they leave the mall, which is wild. And pain points, I guess, is that I'm not fully remote. You know, I have a home base here in Austin, and I'd like to be a true digital nomad. So that's the objective.
Yep. And his space where he lives overlooks all downtown.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
It's pretty cool.
Not that I noticed. All right, so just some digital nomad news, because I always like to cover this stuff because most people are not looking for this, right? So there was a lady, she wrote about getting fired from her job. She was older, she thought she was going to be in that world of, I'm going to have a job, retire, just enjoy life, right? And then all of a sudden everything changed and she got let go. She was literally about a year away from getting her full package for retirement. And of course, most companies will not let you really have that anymore. So they want to make sure that they will let you out the door before you get that package, right? So she got let go, but because of that, it pushed her to take her skills that she did have for that 40-year career that she had, and she turned it into several businesses. And now what she does as one of her businesses is show people how to build consulting agencies in their field, right? So that's where she really took off with that. So I wanted to show that because, again, age is not a factor as a digital nomad. In fact, more people older are trained to this lifestyle just because they sit on more money than anybody under 30 right now. So they have more opportunities to be able to travel. So 20 cities around the world for digital nomads, according to this new report. Most of these cities right here all fall within Italy, Spain, majority of them, right? It's the tax benefits, it's the fact that some of these just have easy visa applications. So to compete with that, I believe it was Australia that just opened up their visa for free because they're trying to compete, right? They're trying to do all this stuff. So this is something that was interesting, but for me, since I've been covering this quite a bit, I'm not surprised that Italy and Spain have the top 20. You do have like maybe one or two in South America, but majority of them all reside in Spain and Italy. Norway kind of also got on the list, but I put these up here in case anybody has a laptop, if you want to search the names, look at the articles, go a little further, or if you want to just take a picture. The other one right here I thought was really interesting was somebody had created a map based on ergonomic chairs and desks, right? So they used AI to create this map on Google Maps, and they went and said, hey, find all these spaces around the world, create a map, and show the density of where digital nomads can go if they need to work remote, right? So because of that, they built this huge map, and it showed all these spaces that digital nomads can use. In fact, some people have been putting up on Airbnb, hey, I have a small little office, I rent it out for $200 a day, and people use it, right? And they know it's a per day rate, so because of that, it shows up on the map, and people can book it, you show up, they work, and then they take off, right? It's like in the heyday of apps, right? Do you remember the one where you rent your toilet to the public and people can pay you like $30 and somebody will knock at your door like, hey, I saw your toilet's available, so here's $50. I know you know the app. It's been around for like ever, right? So, so the other one right here was global study shows shifting landscape of digital nomad hubs. And a lot of this stuff is going from Eastern Europe to Thailand, Bangkok, that region, Indonesia. Even though these have been digital nomad hubs, the quality of life and the cost there still are so much lower than some of these other places. And that's what they're showcasing for a lot of this stuff because it's the landscape is changing, right? So much is happening, and people want to go where, one, your costs are low, right? As a nomad, you want to keep your costs low. Whereas on the opposite side of that is, if you can live in that world of Davos and billionaire camp and all these other Daytona Beach things, that's a different digital nomad lifestyle, right? But if you're trying to just keep your costs low, you're looking for areas that are super easy to live in, cost is cheap, If you've ever heard of the dollar hotels or dollar tubes in Japan, where you can go in, it's like a little tube, it's $1 a night, you go in, and it's just big enough for you to fit in, and that's it, right? Maybe like a little light. So, yeah. And if you want to look at the last one right here, where digital nomads are bitten by the travel bug, there's actually this little village over in the spot that they built, where digital nomads are kind of like congregating around, just because like you can get almost everything taken as a package. You got your meals, your co-working space, your housing, all that stuff. And this is what's going on. So I think it was like 2-3 months ago, I did one where China opened up this huge digital nomad village. It literally looks like a resort, right? It's beautiful, it's amazing. It's far away from the cities, and you're surrounded by water and mountains and things like that. But the whole point is like, people go out there, they work, they get away. They either have mastermind groups, retreats, things like that. And it looks like a resort, you know, so. But yeah, I just wanted to share that kind of stuff because, again, we consume news in a different way versus we don't really look for digital nomad news. So this is what's going on in that space. Here's a little humor to lighten things up. If you know this lifestyle, you absolutely 100% get this joke. Right? The world thinks like digital nomads are just traveling, having fun, all this stuff. They're on the beach, working on the laptop. But in reality, you are always working because you are trying to work for clients, you're paying your bills, you're trying to maintain all this lifestyle. So it's really the last square. That is what your whole time is about, right? And this is for people who do everything themselves. People who don't have assistants, people who don't have that stuff. That's what happens, right? But when you build your team, when you have all that stuff, all of a sudden, here for Nomad Lifestyle, yeah, come on in. And there's a sign-in sheet somewhere. If somebody has that, please pass it over. So that's why I show this, just because those who have been doing this for a while, they know like that is what you're doing. You're looking for co-working space, you're looking for Wi-Fi, and you're trying to find more clients. So let's keep going. All right, so these are pretty much the 6 main ways that digital nomads make a living. So if you want to write this down, take a picture. I just did it that way. So, okay, can you hit the record real quick? Should have. Okay. So you'll notice right here, remote employment. That is pretty much you're either part-time or full-time with the company. And for most people, this is something they'd rather do because it's just easier in terms of payment. Because you already know you have a job, you can travel, do those things, right? Your company will pretty much manage your other tax-related stuff. Freelancing, you work for yourself, you go find jobs, and then you build your income from there doing different types of work. Online business. This is, again, if you're running an Etsy shop, Amazon shop, Shopify store, anything of that nature, you're pretty much selling something, right? So if you have, let's say, professional services, can you still sell on Shopify? He's so quiet. He's the only one that said yes. Did anybody hear that yet?
What's the question?
If you have professional services, can you still use Shopify?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can go in there, and a lot of people don't know that, right? Like they just think these platforms are only for physical products, right? So you can go in there and you can offer all kinds of stuff. If they purchase it, then that goes to a scheduling system, and then now you need to do a consult with them, right? And then that's how that kind of stuff's set up. Content creation, I've talked about that for a while in a lot of my other courses right there. You either have blogs, videos, blogs, things like that. Who knows about the Discord world? Like if you have a Discord, you probably know about this, but who doesn't know about the Discord world? Okay, all right, so Discord environments are very interactive, they're a lot of fun, and a lot of people don't realize you make a lot of money in these environments. Why is that? Is it really Monday? Is that one? Well, it's because you own that environment. That's your server, right? That's your private environment, and you can determine whether you have free channels or you have premium channels, right? And people who go to the free stuff, they see your content, like updates, things like that. Maybe you dropped a book, maybe you wrote something, and then they also know when you do live streams, right? So then if they want to go to live streams, they can go to the premium channels, and then they move to that, and then they can know when like all that stuff comes out. So that's how Discord environments work. They're big for gaming, they're big for developers, They're big for creative class, so people who are artists, people who even like programmers, right? There's even Discord environments where you have teenagers selling UCG, right? And not only do they sell that stuff, but they sell and make a lot of money doing that. So why do people buy it?
They want to be entertained.
Okay, what else?
Maybe get some value from it, just sell it.
Right. So what are teenagers selling? They're selling their screenshots, their recordings of all the video games they're playing. So why do people buy that?
No idea on that.
Why do the kids do the things they do?
So the reason why companies and people buy this stuff is because if a kid is playing 4 hours worth of a video game, that company doesn't have time to do that, right? So they're gonna buy that content so they can chop it up into clips, right? And then they can reposition those clips into Snapchat stories. They can sell them as clips for YouTube videos, shorts, things like that. And that's all user-generated content. And user-generated content has skyrocketed in purchasing power because now all of a sudden that company doesn't know they have that stuff out there. So rather than go do it themselves, they're just gonna buy it from a kid who sells it, right? And so if you look for these like Discord servers, these teenagers are just selling hours and hours of worth of like stuff out there. So that's why Discord environments are huge money making, right? So passive income, we probably all know some of that stuff, right? The typical real estate investing, things like that. But it's also like rental arbitrage. There was a story that came out here like 2 months ago. This UT student who was trying to find work, couldn't get a job, surprising, right? And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do rental arbitrage. Who knows what that is?
Basically, doing some rent for like rooms.
Okay.
And getting more money than he pays for all apartments.
Right, exactly. So basically what he just said was, you're gonna go to an apartment complex, by the way, this is not easy, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna buy that lease for 1 year of that unit, right? And then you're gonna take that unit and you're gonna Airbnb it, and then you're gonna sell it per night, right? And that student went and figured out how to set up the business structure, and then he did all the contracts, got everything going, and within 2 years later, he had over 800 units across the US doing that.
I have a story of someone I encountered that was doing some really interesting rental arbitrage. Sorry, were you finished?
No, yeah, go ahead.
It was back when I was doing my master's in finance, and I was trying to get into finance. And I was living in Frankfurt, Germany, which is a finance town. And I rented a place from this guy who was doing this exact thing, like renting and then sub-renting all of these apartments. And his whole thing was that he was just bringing young finance professionals together, and he entered this community. So it was a great way. It's like, oh, I'll have roommates that are also breaking into finance or analysts, and then I'll be in this community of all these people that rent from him and like have these. So it was just an interesting, and because of that, he was able, I think, to increase the price dramatically from the market rate.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely, yeah. And you know, a lot of people do that kind of stuff, right? And many people don't realize that's the thing. Right, so if you go to an apartment complex, they're like, hey, I want to buy that unit and Airbnb it out, they're going to tell you no right away. Like, they're not going to let you do that. So you have to, like, it's a long process to set it up. But once you do, man, you make so much money off of that stuff, right? So that's just one example, like passive income, because once you set that up, then you push it off to a property management firm, and then you can forget about it after that. So.
And also, it really depends on if the apartment complex allows subleasing, because if they do, then that's really all we need is just to be able to sublease.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the property management firm that you go through, if they already know there's a list of like apartment complexes that accept that, then you can just tell them like, hey, just find me units that are available, pay upfront for a full year, and then they'll take care of the rest of the listings and all that stuff.
Yeah, especially in newer apartment complexes that have very high vacancy rate, or just apartment complexes that have low vacancy rate in general, because they want to fill, they want income stream. So they don't really care who lives in there, as long as they're making money.
That's right.
Yeah.
But aren't you still a landlord? You have to deal with when they mess the place up.
So that's what the property management firm is for, right? So like unless you cannot afford one, then you have to deal with all that
You
stuff.
yourself, and then
Right, exactly. But that's why like you raise the rent to cover the cost for the property management firms, and then they can do the rest, right? So other than that, you can do the last one, which is a combination of all those. But this right here is like the main sources of how most digital nomads do stuff. So any questions on this? Yes?
Question about location, because here living in the US is very costly, but don't you think it's better to move somewhere to Asia and spend like 1/3 of living expenses here in the US, but living in Asia is the same quality of life?
Are you talking about like rental properties, or are you talking about just making money in general?
I mean, just living. For example, here I pay 2,000 for my unit, and in Bangkok it could cost $600.
Right.
So
Yeah.
basically I save $1,500, which I can reinvest in stocks, whatever, and
Right.
make money from that. Don't you think that saving money is like making money, and like choosing the location?
Yeah, I mean, some people do that, right? Like, that's why they look for the cheapest spot, and then they'll run their businesses from there. You know, this is why 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 25-year-olds, they will go straight to Bali and Indonesia, that region, right? And then they go hang out with all the young people, and they're like, hey, what are you building? Let's build it together, right? And then from there, they launch their businesses, and then they come back to the US if they can still afford it, right? But most of the time, they stay, and then they go travel, because they find like there's a path that a lot of these people travel with, right? So, like, before I've been taking my class for a while, you know, Digital Nomad Cruise, that goes on. You get on a cruise, and it goes for about 1.5 years. You go out, and it docks at different ports, right? It's not a cruise like the kinds we're used to. This is a cruise where it's gonna stop at a port for like 4 or 5 weeks, right? It gives you enough time to go into that region of the world, go build relationships, clients, things like that. So when it goes to the next port, you do the same thing again, right? And that's the purpose of that cruise, you know.
Is there an actual boat?
It's an actual cruise ship.
Okay.
Yeah. So even though like you still have like an apartment, right, on the ship, most of the people there probably grew up there, right? So you're gonna meet somebody who probably grew up in that region. Hey, come stay with my family, go check this out. And that's what makes that cruise ship program so valuable, right? So you're not just walking into an area and you don't know anybody. No. All right, so we're gonna cover some of these, and then I'm gonna get into some interesting tools, right? So best ways to earn money online, traveling, freelancing, obviously, writing, designing, coding. Like I said, coding is a big thing, but because of what sort of happened sort of today, I don't know what's gonna happen with coding, right? I really don't, because I had that conversation so many times today and the past week. I literally don't know what's gonna happen with coders now, right? So these are things you can offer, right? So who here has heard of Upworks and Fiverr and all these different platforms, right? Okay, good. That's good. All right, so what can you do on those platforms that makes it so valuable? Yes, go ahead.
Basically, sell your services.
Okay, how would you do that? For the people that don't know that stuff.
Make it those things, and
Okay.
I can create a website for you, I can create a page for you, manage your music profile, etc.
Okay, all right. But what if I'm lazy? I don't want to do that.
Then you hire somebody to do it for you, and you're like, yeah, okay, so I'll do your logo, and I'm gonna charge you $100, and then I have somebody in India doing it for me for $5.
Okay, great. All right. So the reason why I mentioned that is because there was a story that I read where this one guy went in. You can create profile, right? Your profile, or you can create an agency on Fiverr, Upworks, or whatever, right? And then when you create an agency profile, now you can actually go back to the system, hire people to run your agency. Isn't that ironic? Right? So now all of a sudden, like, you're really just like hiring the people to work for you and then just let you know when you made a lot of money, right? So there's a lot of these agencies that go, they do that, and then they make millions of dollars doing that because they're just delegating that system, right? So pretty much they're managing everything, Asana, or Teams or whatever. Yes. Oh, good.
You started with saying you don't know what's gonna happen to coders. Could you fill us in?
Oh, I'm gonna get to that, don't worry. I'm building the anticipation, right? Because otherwise, what's my job, right? But
we should all be coders, digital nomad coders.
Oh my God. You could go be a coder in a place that's still like 20 years behind, right? So because of how things run now, you can go build a small team and then have them run that agency for you. And then if you want, you can go build another one on Fiverr, go build that agency, and then look for every time a job gets posted, your agency applies for that job, right? And then if you pick up the job, then you can perform it, do everything, and do all that stuff, right? So that's how it works, right? That's how people are making money doing that stuff. So a lot of these big firms will go to these sites, post a job, hey, I need this, this, and this done. And whoever pretty much gets their first pretty much gets the job, right? So unless you bid too high or something. Online tutoring, teaching, this one is huge. So there was this guy in New York, I knew about a long time ago. I love telling this story because people always get so mad about this, right? And here's why you're gonna get mad. All he taught was SAT prep, right? I'm sure we all remember our days of SAT prep and how much fun it was, right? So what he did was he started an agency where like, hey, I will teach you how to improve your scores by 300 points. And he would meet the students in New York at a cafe or Starbucks, and he kept doing that, right? Well, he kept getting more and more requests, right? And it kept getting bigger and bigger, so he would hire college students to help with his staff, and they would go do tutoring. So it started off like 150 an hour, 250 an hour, 350 an hour, and he figured like, I'll just keep raising my rates, and it will lessen the workload. What do you think it didn't do? It just got worse. It got really bad, right? Until he eventually got to 1,500 an hour. And what do you think happened then? Well, only the richest people were now giving word of mouth references for him, and he had a wait list, right? Because he had so many people wanting to work with him, but it was only pretty much the wealthiest of the wealthiest kids, right? And he had one rule, and that was, if your kid does not pay attention in class, and he looks away for 1 second distraction, I cut it off, no refund, period, right? But his referrals were just through the door, right? And he worked straight from home, and that was 15 years ago that article came out. And he was doing 1,500 an hour, you know? And in fact, because of that, there was another article that came out 2 months ago. Somebody else was now charging $2,500 for tutoring services in all math subjects and science, right? Yeah. So it is a thing, and it works, right? So you can find something, create a course. I wouldn't say actually create the course, hire somebody to do that for you, but you know. But yeah. All right. So digital products. Who here has ever done that stuff? No, nobody. Nobody makes stickers or anime or what?
Consume stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But not create it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of people out there that do that kind of stuff, right? There's a lady that does Excel templates, and she makes $250 a year, and she just makes custom Excel templates. Who here knows Excel? Who here is mad that you're not making $250 a year? And it all started because she put it up on Etsy, and she just did the basics, right? Like, hey, I will do a calendar template for Excel. I will do a to-do list, right? And she would sell them for like $2 on Etsy, $3 on Etsy, and then she would start charging them for custom templates for small businesses, right? Like, hey, I will do all your like startup costs and things like that, and sell those for like $200, $300 a piece, and then just kept snowballing from there. And then with referrals that kept coming in, right? So, and affiliate marketing. So, oh man, this is gonna be fun because I always like telling this site. Why? Because I'm pretty sure nobody here has heard of this site, and it's been around forever. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to this site. This is why I'm broke. And if you have a laptop, please go to this website. This is why I'm broke, by the way. Okay?
What did you just say? This is why you broke?
This is why I'm broke. Okay? So this site right here is a very interesting website. So if you have it on your laptop, please scroll through it, and you'll notice these items are very unique and they're very interesting, right? So who needs an ultra telephoto zoom lens for $25,000, right? Who needs that? Or who needs a rainbow eucalyptus tree? Or a extreme above ground emergency shelter for $5,000, right? So what is interesting about this website? Anybody want to take a guess?
It's all just
really
affiliate ads.
different things.
It's what?
It's all just affiliate ads.
It is all just affiliate links. The site actually has nothing behind it. It is just links, right? So when this guy created this website, like more than 20 years ago, within 1 year he made over $1 million. And the reason why was because here's what makes this site so unique. Amazon came out, and he was like, man, that's pretty cool, I like that. Man, that's pretty cool, I like that. And he's like, why isn't there a site that just finds the cool shit on Amazon and puts it in one spot? And that's what he did. And so now, he doesn't touch the site anymore. He has a team of people that manage and update all this. And you can go in here and find some of the coolest stuff to buy on Amazon, right? And it's all affiliate marketing.
Is this all Amazon?
So if I click,
Does every link take you to Amazon?
click this,
No, that's what it is.
that's it.
If you're in Dropbox.
So, but you'll start to see, like, if I go here, check this out, for $130,000,
You're welcome.
I can go buy a carrot cat. What is this thing? There we go. I can buy that thing for $130,000. So I think now what he's done with his business model is, if you want to pay to be on his site, now he makes more money, right? Because of the amount of traffic. So, what do you think happens when you build a site this popular, which I'm sure everybody here knows about?
Oh yeah, I can read this in college.
Exactly, yeah, see? We all studied this, right? Alright, where are the copycats?
All the copycats who try to copy it, I think a lot of them don't understand how you can just make it happen.
It's just big, dirty.
And so most of them try to have
I'm gonna wait a
some sort
minute,
of
and then you can proceed.
blog or content creation with affiliate. So you see a lot of these, but they're doing like the reviews. So most of the copycats are, we're reviewing the product. He doesn't even buy it.
Right.
He literally just posts the affiliate link, it's there.
Right.
So everybody's like, oh, we'll do 10 reviews of a humidifier, a car, whatever.
So, this site right here copied their business model, and that's called Dude, I Want That. And it caters to guys, right? It has different categories, but it's pretty much the same business model. It goes in, has a sleek design, but it's all just affiliate links, and then that's it. So when somebody goes in here and purchases it, they get a commission, you get your product, everybody's happy, right? So that's why I mentioned this over here, because affiliate marketing is a huge business, and for a lot of people, setting that up is cumbersome, because you have to do it just right, you know? But what's another area that affiliate marketing takes off in? I know my questions are just so broad.
Social media?
And, okay, let's go down further in social media, but what site in social media? That's mainly geared towards women.
What site?
Yeah, there's a very specific site that affiliate marketing.
Pinterest.
Thank you.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Why does that site work so well with Pinterest?
Say that again?
Pinterest, why does it work so well with Pinterest?
For marketing?
Or what else?
Because I think you can search a specific, like, whatever you want to search, and then it'll bring up a bunch of.
But what makes it so different though from everybody else, right? Like, why is it that I can go there and everything is so designed differently, right? But it's still social media.
It's inspirational for.
It's a vision board.
Vision board,
It's a
yeah,
vision board,
yeah.
right? Because if I'm shopping for wedding dresses, and I can see a certain style, a certain design, right? And if everything I need is right there, all I have to do is just click it and hit buy, right? But they're all affiliate links. That's all it is, right? They're just images to affiliate links. So many times, what people have done, and which is genius, is they will go in and they will actually curate neighborhoods. And real estate people will go in and curate the perfect neighborhood, right? And they'll be like log cabin houses, right? Mountain view homes, oceanside views, right? And every house you click on goes to a real estate website where you can purchase the property. And guess what happens? That link gives you a referral fee if they buy the house. So if the house is $2 million, your referral fee is, you know real estate, what is it?
Well, it's around 3.5. It depends on what company, but it's around like 3.5 to.
Okay.
It goes up to 7.
Right.
Yeah.
So whatever you negotiate with a real estate person, so if you have a really good real estate agent like in Westlake, go affiliate the hell out of that, and then build a whole site, and let's say you get to 7%, you just need to sell how many houses? 2, 3? And then you can go live in Hawaii? You know? And people do that. Right?
But so then you're basically making a board of log cabins or whatever, then everybody else is making log cabin boards, so how do you get your Pinterest log cabin board to stand up out from the other Pinterest log cabin boards?
All right. So that comes down now to marketing, right? Because now it's all about your SEO, right? Because if I go in and let's say I do food and drinks, I can go into here and let's see if it loads today. I wanna do mocktails, and now I should be able to see there we go, right? So I have mocktails right here. This is all laid out. And I can go in, and if it's really well done, there's all links to websites, by the way. This is just a vision board. Which means that I can sell recipes, right? I can just go to an Etsy shop, sell recipes. Do I need to do anything else?
But you have to do the SEO to get people to come to this.
Thank you. Yes.
Or-
Can you hit record? Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. Because now you got to make sure you're competing against all these other people out there, right? Who are also doing the same thing, right? Because remember, there are now tools that tell you who has the best vision boards, what has the most traction. So what do you think happens? They see those numbers, they go build the same thing. They're not building it; they have a team of people that build it for them, right? So they're moving at lightning speed. So they're just copying things, right?
Yeah, but why would I go to some unknown site to go buy from there when I can go to the actual source?
Because nobody buys in stores anymore, that's the problem. Because how many times, I guarantee everybody here has gone to Best Buy, they looked at the items, go to Amazon, oh, it's cheaper there. I bought it from Amazon. Don't tell me you haven't done that. See, everybody's laughing. Everybody's, because you know you do it.
Yeah, and but why Pinterest is so unique is because, like he said, is it's like a social media app, and that people go there, and on top of that, it's a vision board. So it's very, I want to say, what is it, like interactive? It's you can,
right.
Instead of visiting one website and just looking at limited amount of items there, you can look at anything.
So if I do, let's say, barbecue.
But I think it starts to become a pretty tricky SEO thing where you're trying to, I mean, if you're competing on mocktails and nails are one thing, but if you know, you're talking 3% on a $2 million house, those vision boards then are gonna have, everybody's gonna be copying those, and everyone is gonna be seriously SEO
That's right.
crunching on them.
And now you're welcome to the world of social media marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So it's just the SEO battles that you.
Hey, come on in.
There's another thing I want to add is because copycatting or whatever you want to call it, people doing literally the same thing is doing something called first principle, like doing things from. Pretty sure some of y'all have heard about it. That's what Elon Musk uses. Like he thinks about solutions toward thinking about them from a first principle, which is like breaking down to the fundamental, like what a person is supposed to do, and maybe doing it in a different way where nobody has done that before. So that's another solution.
A good way to start with that thinking is you yourself frequent something in your friends. You use something, you do something, and you have the thought in your head, how come it's done this way, how come it isn't done that way?
That's right, yeah.
Well, look it up. Is it being done that way? No? There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then now that we have AI to iterate everything for us so much faster, I can't tell you how many times people are using this now to be like, okay, how do I make my board better, right? What do I need to do? And so now we have parallel prompting in our world, if you've ever used parallel prompting. And so you can knock out these vision boards like in a matter of like minutes because your team is doing that for you, right? So if you're doing all this stuff, you can go as a digital nomad, start selling this stuff and push it out there, right? Go look for communities around the world where traffic for this stuff is very low, push it in those regions, right? So if I'm selling travel and I have all these getaway places that look so exotic and everything, and I work for a travel agency, well, yeah, I'm gonna click on this picture right here because it just looks amazing, right? And then if I purchase that travel package, then I get a commission, So now we go to the next one, which is blogging and blogging, right? Those are two different areas that are hard to make money in, but which is the popular one right now for blogging?
Which platform?
Platform. Because remember, everything here is all about like, you gotta know your business, yes.
I like to use Ghost.
Okay. Why is that?
Because it's like incredibly fast. You can track user analytics. You don't have to set up payment gateways, and because everything's like centralized into an API first platform.
Okay. Who remembers one of the first blogging platforms out there?
Blogger.
There you go. Right? And then what came along after that?
WordPress.
Okay, what else?
Essential.
Okay, what else?
YouTube.
What else?
Substack.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Whoever said Substack. What was before that?
Medium.
Medium. Right? How many times have we all read Medium articles, right? And now we have Substack. So who's the competitor to Substack now? Beehive, right? And Beehive is based here in Austin, you know? So now all of a sudden you're starting to realize there's different platforms for different things, right? Substack, you can go in, you look at the numbers, how it's set up, and you start to realize like, well, I need to start writing a blog, and I start doing this, you know? Do you run the blog?
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of, it's not monetized, but,
Right.
It belongs to the business.
Yeah. So, and then blogging is pretty much just that, except you're just doing it with video, you know?
And so then you're just constantly going from one platform to the next, following it. I mean,
and this is why at the end of the day, you're exhausted, right? But if you have a team and you go to bed at night, you are well rested because your team is working and you are enjoying the Mai Tais on the beach.
yeah.
Okay.
In your vision board, huh?
And your vision boards, yes, gotta have a vision, right? So now we can run online agencies, right? So now we can start building our own stuff and pushing that out there and driving traffic for all those things, right? Because you can go to Fiverr, you can go to Upwork, build your own online agency, hire the people there to run your agency, which is ironic. And then you just keep doing that over and over and over, right? So who here has done that, and who here, this is the first time you're ever hearing about this?
Never. Whose hand do we raise for which question?
Okay. So, on to the next one. So, AI tools for digital nomads. Word Hero. If you have a laptop, please look this up. Keep it a little interactive. So basically, this one right here is useful for like generating traffic on platforms, and that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for tools like this to do it for you, right? Because remember, AI works at nanosecond speeds. Humans do not. So, because of what ChatGPT search did to SEO, it has messed up the entire industry, right? So now you need tools that help do that for you, right? Because remember, if you've ever looked at actually how like Google ad systems work, they trade in nanoseconds, right? When they do ad bidding. So now you have to use tools like this to help compete against all that. So AI can do that way faster than a human can, you know?
So, what is this doing for me?
Now this is helping you drive traffic.
So it makes it SEO friendly?
It'll make it SEO, it'll look at your content and it'll always update everything. Is there a catch though? What is the big catch about SEO?
If it's constantly updated.
Well, AI will do that, but yes.
It's constantly changing.
It's constantly changing, and what else? What is the big catch that people here have to remember about SEO? It gets very expensive, real fast, right? Because everybody here as a consumer knows when you click on an ad, you see something. You as a business owner, what do you have to do when they click on that ad?
You gotta pay for that.
You gotta pay for that click.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to do something bad to your competitor, go keep clicking their ad and drain their budget. Don't be that way. But that's how it works, right? So what is the most expensive ad out there? If anybody actually says this, I would be very shocked. It's divorce lawyer. That term, divorce lawyer, is super expensive to purchase.
Wow.
The average click cost for a divorce lawyer term is around $850.
Is that because when people are hiring a divorce lawyer, they're so stressed out that they always just click the first one that pops up?
That's right. Because one, they're in a bad situation, they're like, I gotta get out of this, and then they're just like, whatever popped up first, right? So what happens, right, when you have divorce lawyers competing against each other? Those click rates go even higher, right? So now they go up to $1,000, $2,000 per click, right? So now you have tools out here that can do that faster for you.
So
right?
you can mess with lawyers pretty easily.
If you don't like the lawyer, you can train AI to just click on the ad.
That's fun. Alright, so Quillbot. I've used Quillbot quite a bit. Alright, everybody look that up, Quillbot. This is probably going to become your best friend if you don't know what Quillbot is. Is it too? I only did that just because well, actually, I'll just go to the website. Alright, so basically what Quillbot does is it helps you write better, right? So it's going to go in and do all kinds of stuff for you, and it helps strengthen your writing, right? Who here knows a competitor to this? Grammarly, right? So there's a lot of tools already out there that are getting copied. And you have to remember, now that we've been doing this for a while, for every AI tool that you see, there's probably like 50 others out there already, right? And it just depends on your region of how popular they are. But this is one that pops up. You can go in there and just improve your writing and push out content. So why would you use something like this? Well, because when you write all your blogs, you want to make sure they're correct, right? So you're just going to throw this in there, run it, check on it.
Also, if you're having all your assistants and AI and stuff writing all your blogs for you, you want to probably run it through again to check that. You go into Medium and you can see so many of these things that are written that are really written poorly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if that can clean it up, then
right.
We can never tell whether it's a bot or somebody in a faraway land making this thing.
If anybody has ever spent time on Amazon and you search for a book and all of a sudden you see all the crap that follows up with like how to improve whatever in your life, right? And then you just see all these books written by AI, right? And you read the book and you're just like, I paid $1 for this, and what is this? Just run-on sentence after run-on sentence, like, you know. So.
And then what makes one better than what makes Quillbot better than Grammarly? Cost or something? Or?
It's probably the cost, and it all depends on, at this point, you know, your personal interest, right? Like which one is easier to use, right? So now it's going to start turning into which one really is easier to use for most people, right? Some people love Grammarly, other people like different platforms, right? So it comes down to a very subjective kind of experience.
There's also a security aspect that sometimes companies don't like Grammarly because it's doing things somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another one that a lot of people don't realize that you can do as a business, and that is you summarize books, right? You can go in here, do those kind of things, grab a book, get the summary, sell it. How many times have you gone to Amazon, or you've gone to like your public library, looked at your audiobook section, and it's like, here's War and Peace, or here's the summary of War and Peace. Right? And people buy that, you know? High school students that don't want to read the book, you know? And you can sell that as an agency, right? Like you can go in there and just start selling summarized copies of stuff. Do you know what's another thing that's exploded in popularity, which I'm sure everybody here is aware of, is summarizing articles. Who knew reading an article needed a summary?
Is that a site for summarizing?
No, yeah, it takes the books and summarizes everything for you. So it is a tool, right? So
books and articles, or just
yes. No, you can do
So
both.
just anything you put into this thing, it'll summarize for you. So, but I mean, won't ChatGPT sort of do it for you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we're getting why AI is so job destructive, right? Because every time you talk to somebody now, it's like, oh, well, can AI do that, right? And this is why the industry for graphics design is just collapsing itself. Because how many, I can't imagine those conversations where like you've worked with somebody for like 30 years, they're doing your graphics design, hey, AI can do that now. I don't need you anymore, right? How many life coaches have had those conversations like, hey, it was great working with you, AI can handle my life, right? It's had very awful conversations, you know?
To be fair, as a life coach, the quality of your advice was the quality that ChatGPT is giving out.
Okay.
Maybe you should have sought other work anyway.
Wait,
Okay.
did you mean the life coach is hearing that from people coming to them now?
So remember, they got clients, life coaches. Life
Right.
coaches have clients, right? And
Right.
they're just like, all I'm paying you for is to help you coach my life. Can I just ask GPT, like, hey, what should I do today?
Exactly.
Right?
I'm saying, if you're going to Magic 8 Ball, and Magic 8 Ball does as good a job as your life coach, maybe you should go with Magic 8 Ball, and the life coach should do something else.
All right, so now that we're on that topic, there was a very interesting conversation I had with somebody last week. So somebody was an advisor, right? And they were talking about AI agents. And I said, yes, you know, you can only work so many hours a day, but now you can take your knowledge and distill it into a custom GPT, right? And you can take that GPT and then you can sell it access to yourself. So when you're sleeping and somebody desperately needs to talk to you at 3 in the morning, you can sell them access to your consulting services, right? And people have been doing that now.
Matthew Hussey, right, the dating coach.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
One of the
So he's just uploading his brain and then having.
No, he's uploading like his speeches, his books,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's training the AI to a degree, and then it's basically just repeating things that he said. It's just an LLM.
Yeah.
That essentially repeats what he would have said, supposedly.
It's a shortcut to
Yeah.
answers, normal answers, common.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of Limitless? It's a company.
I love that movie. Okay.
It had a different name until recently, which I can't remember, but
Yeah.
they raised like $300 million in 1 week by posting, it was like a peak AI hype cycle, but it's really interesting. They have a pendant, it's a physical product, and it just hears, it's like everything you, it's also integrated with like your devices, so everything you read on one of your devices, hear or say, it catalogs, and then it's like a personal memory, basically.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really good idea.
So on
yeah.
that note, if you've ever been to AITX, one of the co-hosts of that event, he created, Jake O'Shea, if y'all know Jake, he created shower thoughts. And that's exactly the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Because the point of shower thoughts is when you're in the shower, you just talk about all your thoughts you had in the day, and it will categorize them and organize everything, right? It's like, hey, what did I talk about on Thursday at noon, and I don't really remember, it was about a dog or something, and then it goes through and pulls everything, right? And that's what he created as well. So it sounds very similar to that. Yeah.
So you're just recording yourself all the time, and it's just basically.
Every day, all the time, even when you're sleeping, right? You know, and you're selling that. Like the people who record themselves sleeping at night and sell access to those videos, which I'm sure they're all making money with right now. So, all right. So the next one right here is generate AI videos from text, right? And this has obviously become a very big industry in itself, right? Once Sora came out, once Goku came out, now you have things like this that are just rappers, right? And so these are super popular, and I can tell you how many times I've seen people build agencies off of this stuff, and then they just contact businesses all day long. Hey, I'll shoot your video for you for 30 seconds commercial. I'll do it for $3,000, right? Typical commercial video costs anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000. You're charging $3,000, you know. So those are.
I just did mine for free, actually.
What's that?
I did mine for free.
Like, looking good,
Just say
try it.
Let's see if it has one. I'm sure it's just going to Sora. We have to wait because the Wi-Fi here is so fast.
It was really weird though, it was using like, it was showing a woman and it was talking about a man. And it was just really weird.
Is there sound? So, I mean, like things like this are popping up. I think there's another one, smart content. .co. Is it?
Are you subscribed to either of these?
No. What's that?
Are you subscribed to either of these?
I've tried them out for a couple times. Let me see real quick. Hold on.
Like, this is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but like everything just seemed kinda hallucinogenic, like really trippy.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
if that's fixed.
Yeah, I should have brought it up to my account. Anyways, so there's a lot of these like there's another one. Short. Yeah, so right here where you have these bulk generators, they're going in and they're just like knocking out your shorts for you, and they're just making like viral content. So you have a lot of these copycats that are doing this now. So why do I show this? Is because this is another service you can sell, right? Like if you just make like viral video content, then you just sell a template, right? That person accesses the template, they purchase it from you, and then they can go in and just knock out all their shorts in one day, right? And if you charge for access to that template, then they can knock out their videos. And then if you want to get really good at this stuff and charge thousands and thousands of dollars, then that's when you bring in environments like Make, where you can go in and you can go in and make 1,000 YouTube shorts with this AI automation platform and just knock out even more stuff, right? And so people are doing that. So, and there's a lot of AI automation tools out there, and many people are just not aware of this stuff, right? But the agencies and people are keeping up with this, that's what they're using to make this content, right? So when you go to somebody's channel and you're just like, how are you putting out so much stuff all the time? That's what they're doing, yeah. Any questions?
So community.make.com?
Yeah, so if you go into the community area, you can go in there and see all kinds of like AI tools that they're releasing. And they are pretty interesting, right? And if you're really good at this stuff, you sell the template, not the access, right? So if they want the template, then they pay you whatever the ROI is for that template, right? So the next one, I believe, oh, Writer AI. This one was really interesting because I learned like these companies just keep coming up with weird names. It's terrible coloring, sorry about that, I didn't make the website.
To be fair, the spelling and the color was probably both generated by AI.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I probably would say so, yes. But again, when you look at this kind of stuff, this is why you have teenagers now who are going onto YouTube and they're signing up for these programs and then they're turning around and building agencies, right? And then they're just making all this money. So if that is the case, then yeah, you can just go on there, build an agency site, and then once you're done with that, then what's the problem, right? Now you can just stay at all those beaches you've ever wanted to visit, you know, and work from there. Any questions so far? I'm just going to jump to the last one. Yeah. So again, we have ChatGPT, AI writing tools, AI image tools, things like that. And then, yeah, it just optimizes communication, streamlines the collaboration, and turbocharges like your productivity when you start to use this stuff. So one thing I do want to point out is not everybody's cut out for this, right? This is the hard part that some people realize, like, hey, come on in. Good to see you, Sam. So I will let you know, like, is there, can we get in? Okay. What's funny about this class versus my other one that I have a week from now is that the other one tends to get a packed room, right? And that is because most people are just not comfortable traveling all the time. They still want to work for themselves, they're just not traveling as much as Daniel is. Like Daniel just travels like it's just another day, right?
Another day into the country, right?
Exactly. Have you done all your countries yet, or are we still like on number 96?
I still actually need to go to Spain, Portugal, and France.
Oh, there's somebody from Portugal.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he likes Spain. He's not.
Okay.
You like Spain?
I was in Spain, yeah.
Is it someplace I should go? Okay.
Madrid.
Do it. Oh, Barcelona or Madrid or both. That's why choose, right? That's the.
See, there you
There.
Yeah.
The Canary Islands are nice too.
Okay.
The which one?
Canary Islands.
Oh.
What space do you work in? Remote?
I'm a program manager.
Oh, program manager.
Yeah. I used to be a hardware engineer, and that was very much not remote.
So what's a program manager? I don't really know.
Yeah, basically for a lot of hardware programs, at least the way my company works is that everybody kind of does their own thing. It's very disparate, and so you need program managers and a few other like core teams to make sure that everybody's driving towards the same goal for a specific program. Because so many people, at least in the company I work in, are part of so many projects. They have so many competing interests and so many people messaging them and bugging them that they need somebody to kind of go in there and make sure that everybody is driving towards an objective that is aligned with the best interests of the company and the product.
Okay. And do you have background in like computer science?
Electrical engineering.
Oh, electrical engineering. Okay.
Yeah. So I used to be an electrical engineer for a while.
Is that similar to what you do now, or just?
It's related.
Related. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. It's hardware programs, so it's like the other side of electrical engineering. So, like electrical engineering, it was very much focused on the how. You kind of are just told like, okay, this is what the product's gonna look like. Now go figure out how to go make it work. And I wanted to be more focused on the why, which I thought was much more interesting. That's much more of a program management perspective. So that was kind of the driver behind why I made a career shift.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, I like that idea that, you know, maybe basically travel everywhere. That's basically everybody wants to do
Everybody
it.
wants
That's
to
why
be-
we're, yeah, yeah.
Everybody
it's-
wants to travel the way he travels. I'm sure he already has like 7 next week to go to, yeah.
Tempted. I applied for a visa in Hungary, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Heard anything yet?
the Hungarian digital nomad visa.
Oh, I heard about that one. Yeah.
What's your favorite place?
Yeah, I actually did like Budapest a lot. It's a really nice city. It's very beautiful.
Budapest?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's in Romania, is that what?
Hungary.
Hungary,
Yeah.
So for this right here, again, this is the part that is the realization of like, can you do this, right? It's, can you keep track of your time? Can you keep track of your stuff? And do you work well with self-imposed deadlines? For some people, they just don't, right? But this is why we have AI tools now, right? Like you can go in and have an AI tool just manage your time for you. Hey, I'm doing this. I need to do this. Can you block out my schedule for today? And then tell me what to do, right? And that's kind of how it works from there. So with that, these are the fastest growing remote careers that are out there, right? So you have virtual administration, you have HR and recruiting, you have nonprofits, SEO and SEM, bookkeeping, marketing, call centers, bilingual translation, social media management. These all have the highest growth, right? And the reason why is because these are such standard industries that you can find remote work in this no matter what. Every company needs this like you would not believe. They need bookkeeping done, right? So if you're an accountant of some sort, they need help with that. You know, nonprofits need a lot of help in different areas. So you as a remote worker can pick up these jobs all around the world, and yeah, and there's nothing stopping you from having like 10, 20 different gig works under your profile, right? So, simple question here, are you doing the jobs?
Probably not.
You're supposed to be on the beach, right? That's what your assistants are for, right? So if you have an assistant that's really good at data entry, go apply for all the data entry jobs, right? And get a data entry job and just push it to your assistant who does data entry, right? And then they do the job, you get the paycheck, you know, and then that's it. So as you can tell right there, writing, video editing, content creation, AI automation, those are the new things, right? Video editing is in high demand. I can't tell you how many times I've met video editors at these networking events, and they're always like, hey, I need help with this, I need help with that, right? Because if you've ever done video editing, it is a nightmare. Especially if you're learning the program for the first time, you're just like, I just got Final Cut and I want to get dive into this, and then you see the environment, you're just like, what did I do? It's hard, right? I remember when I was learning film editing a long time ago, and I watched how they edited King Kong. Are you here for Digital Nomad? Yeah, this is it. Come on in. If there's no chairs, you can grab one, but there should be one back there, and then one in the corner right here. Are you here for Nomad?
I just need to talk to you later.
Okay, all right. Okay, hey, do you want a chair right here? Oh, sure, yeah, I can move it over here.
There's a couple of chairs
Here,
around.
come on.
There's one over there.
Sit on the.
Okay. I'll put it right here just in case. So if you've ever looked at like the making of King Kong, it was non-linear environments, right? So it's not a linear structure. It is literally just a board, and they're connecting the different parts to it. And it was just like a nightmare to learn that. And I was just like, I hate non-linear editing. Video editing is complicated already, you know, so. So for this right here, leveraging your existing skills, I mean, this is some stuff we probably already know, but if you haven't already, go use AI to update all this stuff, right? Go in, look at your LinkedIn profile, how do I make this better, right? Have it rewrite some stuff, network with potential clients, reach out to people, attend conferences, right? Like I applied to so many conferences to speak. Running remote will be coming here in Austin in April. I got a ticket for that, so I'm looking to speak at that conference. And then another conference coming up, which is Product Camp, if you've never been to that. If you're in marketing or if you're in product, go to that. There's a lot of people that show up for that. It'll be at UT, and I think that one's in April as well. Right?
What is it called?
It's called Product Camp.
Product Camp?
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I've been going for a while.
Lots of free food.
Lots of free food. Yes, and I always go and speak at that one as well. So.
What is the other one?
Running remote.
Running remote.
Yeah, running remote. I'll actually bring that up real quick so you can see what it looks like.
I just wrote my newsletter in writing.
Really? Okay. Very nice.
Is it good?
It is good.
So if you want,
Plug that in,
you can take a picture of this. This is coming up. This is for remote workers, the digital nomad gold. And so you can sign up here. There'll be 380 speakers. So I'm hoping to be one. So check it out and see what you think of it. And the fact that they'll be in Austin because they're always changing locations. So yeah, this is a great opportunity to check it out. So
How much is this?
let's find out. I have no idea. Let's see what standard pass.
$700.
Yeah, it's 1,000 for a single pass, and it's 800 for a group pass.
Is there a voluntary?
By speakers.
Exactly. See?
Yeah.
That's
I don't think
why.
my boss is gonna want the expenses.
Yeah, you can probably volunteer. I would reach out to them since they're gonna be in Austin, see if they need volunteers. They usually like give free passes, and if you're a speaker, then obviously you get a free pass, right?
Yeah, if you're a speaker, can you give free passes to people?
Okay, so let me tell you how it works.
Support.
Yeah.
At South by Southwest, that's what they do, right? Like if you're a speaker, they usually give you like 2 or 3 extra passes, right?
Oh.
Because you usually have a team helping you set up and all this stuff. So it depends on the conference. You know, some conferences they give you a lot, like CES. Like if you speak there, they give you 5 extra passes for your team. You know, so. But yeah, this will be here. So if anybody hasn't written this down already, April 29th and 30th, go check it out. All right, so the next one, all right, monetizing. So again, identify what your passions are and create content around that. Again, I've shown content in all different fashions now, where there are people who just sit in their car, they record themselves ranting, and then that gets tons of views, right? And then there are other people who are out there, and they do stuff that probably would make people in here super mad, right? And they make a lot of money doing that. In fact, William Brown, who I showed him a couple of times. Where is he? He makes videos like you pour water, right? There we go. So this one right here, he just literally sits down, hits record. He has a beautiful backdrop in Dubai, so that helps a lot, right? And he just talks about how to make it 10K a month if you have to start over again, right? If you live in Dubai, making 10K a month is like cake over there. Most people over there make more than 10K a month in Dubai because it's so expensive, right? But he talks about this one story that he met this lady in the building that he's at, and she makes 17K a month. She's not a coder. She doesn't know real estate. She doesn't do any of that stuff. So what do you think she's doing?
Robbing banks?
I would love that. Let me see if I can find where. I know it's here. Transcript. There you go. Yeah, there's Alright, so I was hoping to find it right away. Basically what she does is she teaches people how to crochet. I heard that. Somebody was snickered. Okay?
Can you do the search?
Forward.
Who does she teach how to crochet?
She does online videos.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not, okay.
so her clientele is not like locals in Dubai.
No, it's all, oh, there it is, yeah, 130, okay. So, let me see if I can find, there we go.
Teaching knitting.
There we go.
50 years old, lives here in Dubai, and she makes roughly £14,000 per month. So I think that's about $16,000 US, something like that. So let's use dollars. So she makes about $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a month teaching knitting. I'll say that again. $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a month teaching knitting online. So the way that she does this is she has a small YouTube channel, and she posts 2 videos a week all about, like, I don't really know a lot about knitting, but like knitting patterns, where to buy the materials and stuff like that, right? And she's been doing it for about 9 months now, 9-10 months. And it's not the most money in the world, but to a lot of people that's like life-changing, isn't it? You know, to most people out there who are making 2, 3, 4K a month in a job that they hate, imagine making 15, 16, 17,000 per month, consistently, reliably, doing what you love, and just helping other people. This is the best part about what I'm going to share with you here. Like, it's very high integrity. It's very high respect. Because you're just sharing your knowledge, and people will pay you to learn what you know that they don't yet know, right?
And that's the key, right? That's all it is. That's literally what it comes down to, is you're just sharing your stuff, and you're gonna find your audience, you just gotta push it out there, right? And that's why I do these courses as well, because again, nobody was catering to the digital nomad stuff here in Austin, and I thought I'd put this up. So before this, who knew about this guy? Right? Yeah. So again, his stuff is very simple. He just shoots a video. He's not doing anything amazing, not trying to do special effects, but it's there, right? So he goes on later in the video to talk about other people who make 6 figures a year just teaching piano lessons around the world, right? They just go to the website, they just do these. Hey, you want to learn piano lessons? Go to my site, sign up for a lesson, and then that's it. Any questions?
So, but he's just saying there's a woman that knits and has a YouTube channel, and I mean,
But it's on the surface of it, when you're talking, because what he's doing is called content generation. Content generation is hell.
Yep.
Because when you just watch a video of his, because you have a few viral videos that you're doing well, and people will know this video, how many videos are on his site?
For William Brown?
Yeah.
I think he already has like 50.
When did he start?
I think it was like a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, shooting and editing 50 videos is a lot.
Yep.
And if he did it in a year, he's doing multiple videos per month.
Yeah.
How long was that video? An hour?
Yeah, but well, no, it's actually 23, 25 minutes.
23, 25 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Was it edited or was it just?
No, it's just shot straight.
Okay, so those are gonna be way easier.
Yeah, yeah.
But content generation, the truth is that it looks really, really easy. It's really, really not. Most people doing content generation are not making money. It's not happening. Most of them are doing it, they're making some money, but they're not making the ROI that's worth the output. If he's making money, if he's doing well, which I don't know, I guess he is, I don't know.
Oh no, he already made his millions. Like, he's doing this because it's a passion thing.
Okay, so then he's not doing it to make money, he's
Yeah.
literally just
He's just
making
talking.
content.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have to make money from this
Yeah,
content.
yeah, he already made his money.
Yeah, the truth is people are gonna follow him and he will probably write a book and, you know, be a life coach that he won't transfer to AI, or he will, I don't know. And he'll, you know, be a speaker. But his creation of content is really hard. The people who are doing it, it's the comment you showed in the beginning where it's, you know, what society thinks I do versus what I do, et cetera, and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
Content generation is mind-numbingly boring and difficult. And most people never see a return on the investment of time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between content generation and content creation? Is that the same, or is it a
So
little
if you're
different?
using AI to create your content, then that'll be generation. Yeah. So if you're just shooting your content with like a GoPro or a video, then, you know, content creation. So, because again, we're at a point now where AI does so many things, and so I'm hoping I have already brought up enough attention that I can show you what has come out. So this right here, I will let you read the title. I'm going to show this next week in class anyways. But you know, Zillow is a very big platform, right? It's massive in what it does for real estate. And hey, thanks for coming. When I read through this article, if you have a laptop or phone, please look at this article, read it in detail. We're getting to a point now where building apps and SaaS products and things like that are now becoming a very simple process. that anybody can pick up, right? So now it's challenging this notion of just like, well, what is the point of computer science, and what is the point of learning this stuff if this is just going to turn into cursive writing, right? And so in the article it goes in and basically just shows like, hey, they were having a problem and they were trying to do this. They set it up, Anthropic helped them go through the process, and within a matter of what would normally take several months to a year or more, they were able to do in, you know, pretty much a day, right? And they didn't use any like actual engineers, and they were able to go through and build out entire systems in one day. So his little tweet right there, built 2 new internal systems for my team this week. We had customer requests, customer support using code generated by Claude. Took me 1 day in total to save us 5 to 10K in consulting costs. If an English psychology grad like me can code to build stuff, any person can do it, right? So what does that mean now? So it goes further on. There was one part where almost paid 100 a year for an app I needed. Exported 1,000 of saved posts, bookmarks to a spreadsheet. Then I thought, I wonder if Claude can do this for me. 10 minutes later, I had my app.
Well, the thing is, it's becoming like spam though. It's just, if you make everybody efficient on the planet to make videos and whatnot, you're gonna have so much content that nobody will ever be able to watch it. It's like that Saturday night like sketch where the guy has to go in a bunker to get caught up on all the Netflix TV shows that he hasn't seen, that all his friends have seen and asked him about. 6 months he comes out later, now he's 6 months later. He hasn't seen all the others, you know, and so with this generation of content, I don't believe what the guys are, I think his stories are embellished and he makes them up so he has the content, that's it. I don't think there's a woman actually making $17,000.
I would probably go.
I doubt it, man. I really doubt it, man. Because I mean, I've been trying to do my videos and I don't get near that much. And I'm actually doing pretty complicated stuff that, you know. So I think it's, okay, great, good for him, but I think a lot of this stuff is embellished. You know, I think it's just.
Go ahead.
Complicated stuff is hard to do. If it's something like knitting, there are a lot of people who want to, you know, learn to knit, and I assume that that's a kind of target market that has time, and then once you get it, you forget about it. So there's all the people interested in knitting, but then you only need so many people who really want to knit to, you know, that's something where people can even buy a course and learn a knitting course or get one-on-one knitting support. I mean, in terms of search terms, like when you say people still sell SEO, there's a lot of people searching for, you know, knitting, and I think you have a cycle of like, there's always going to be churn in terms of people who want to learn to knit and just drop out.
Of course, just like piano lessons, and just like, you know, anything else. Like there's hobbies out there that people make a lot of money on, and they sell that content, and they're making the money, but you learning it is probably just a passing hobby, right? You know, so they have to hit their numbers. Did you have a question, Vivek?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what he said, that creating content may make you jealous. Sorry, when you look at someone like that saying you only make $17,000, or this woman who makes $17,000 doing knitting, you have to wonder the validity of that statement or the authenticity.
Yeah, I don't know how.
And then
a lot of
I
these
just don't
things
think
is how
anyone in
long.
this room has ever, like if it was so, like has anyone here ever made, I mean, money doing knitting, $17,000? No.
So there's some things going on. The truth is that it's probably overblown, much like all of LinkedIn.
Guys, I have. I mean, we could be contrarian all day, you know, because like there are a lot of people who say that they make money online, but they really don't. I think guitar is a perfect example. Every time you go, it's like learn guitar. How many guys are like that, but then just decided I'm not going to sell to, you know, Austin or Waco. I'm going to sell online. It's not just guitar. It's like electric Jimi Hendrix guitar.
Right, so the point is not probably that she's making, we'll say 17 grand a month by creating content of knitting. But quite frankly, everything that's been said so far, I am positive, like if it's true, right, because we're all on LinkedIn, we know that most of it's not true. If it's true that she's making 10 grand upwards a month, right, because that could have been 1 month, like her best month she made that, and then that was just extrapolated because that happens as well. Let's say that she is making 10 grand upwards a month on knitting. She isn't. She's creating content, she's using affiliate marketing, she probably has, her channel got big enough that people were willing to sponsor her. She's making money off of various streams all connected to the original work of she's creating content and knitting. And the truth is that one thing that the guy said that might have gone past a lot of people is that she's selling patterns. Okay, well, this is the issue where instead of going to mine the gold yourself, you're selling pickaxes to the miners. When people are downloading patterns for, and my wife crochets, so if you get a cheap pattern for $5, you can get expensive patterns as well. And then, if she goes the route of, she also sells yarn. There's some woman on Etsy who takes regular yarn, it's not special. She buys it, she snips it into pieces, she reties it, she wraps it into a ball, and she resells that at a super premium price. She's making a lot of money.
I would sell like knitting right now for 14K a month, for 10K a month, if I knew how to knit. Thing is I don't, so I probably gotta take her course.
Yeah.
I've sold like probably $20,000 of courses. I don't know what's speaking.
Yeah, courses make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's not the simple, she just makes videos on knitting and that's how she makes the money. It's like, no. You can make a lot of money out of courses you create, but it's all the things involved in it that she's also doing to make the money.
Yeah, that's a hard
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, none of this is my point. When you're 20 years old, okay, and you need something to do for your life, you're gonna be alive maybe for another 50 years, okay? As soon as you introduce an idea, somebody's gonna clone it. Guarantee you somebody in China will carry it, okay? So what do 9 billion people on this planet have to do for the next 50 years? It is not competing and making crochet videos. You're gonna run out of content and you're gonna have competition that's gonna make it very cheap, right? Because now you have subscription, but only 10 people watch it because there's billion other channels that are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna be doing 50 years from now, right? With this growth, with this explosion.
But if she's smart, she's reinvesting that money into something that is the next thing after her channel takes a dive.
That's her, but I'm talking about there's not one person on the planet, okay? There's, like I said, many of us. What do we do as a collective in the future to sustain living, right? Is it gonna be to a point where AI does everything and we need to have a universal income so we can actually survive? And how do we actually make money? How do I make more money than you or you, right? How do I compete? How do I get a better house than you do? Where are we 50 years from now? Because the growth, well, I buy that, okay, you can go anywhere in the world, you can go live on Mars or whatever, you can make your money that way, but still, as a growth, as a capitalism, you know, where is it going? That's what I wanna know.
Well,
Sorry?
I was,
Then you're ahead of the game.
You could
It's
sell a
all-
course.
I already use AI every day. I mean,
And you could sell a course.
I replace
training
my
people
management with AI.
to use AI, or like this lady who is creating Excel documents, you could train AI for people. It's mind-numbingly boring, but you could literally just create an agency where you train AI, and that will be necessary for the next 50 years. It's gonna change.
Or you can just learn a skill, because literally all you need throughout your entire life is just know like one skill. It doesn't matter what skill that is, as long as you know that skill perfect, and you've been in it for a long time, and maybe you must say it's in the like AI industry. You want to make sure it's not going to go away within like the next 50 years or whatever in your life, but really you can.
Not my
it's just
life,
a
like,
skill.
I have children that I'm worried about more than me, I'm good, you know, but
Mhm.
they go into school, they wanna get a PhD, 6 years of college, by the time or university, by the time they get done, what do? They compete with people making crocheting videos, I mean, what the heck?
No, I don't think we're gonna run out of things to do.
We
There's
are
so
way
many
too much
things
flux
to.
right now, we do not know.
I
So
think-
so the funny thing is, I come from a business background. Last 2 years, everybody just stopped in the mid-market business, just held their purse, not spending anything, thinking AI is gonna fix everything, okay? Now they are opening up. The reason I'm here is I have a company where I employ people globally, but I can't pay US dollars because my clients are all around the world. So if you're willing to go work there,
I'll take
find me.
Bitcoin is good.
Right? So that's the thing, like basically we need people in Philippines, Colombia, Brazil, and like what you call Thailand and India, people from the US who can work out of there. And we are a very flexible company, like you tell how many hours you're gonna work, you work, and then you move to a different country. We have people all around the world. It's 100% remote. I've been running it for 10 years. And that's the reason I'm here, okay?
So,
Pays, I'll pay you in that country whatever the software engineer pays. Like you don't have to look for a job on how to make money. It's the same thing that was offered to me when I came to the US. They paid me the US salary when I came here. Go to a different country, I get paid whatever they pay at that thing. You won't make US money, that I can tell you. You can do the other things, what he's
But
telling
it allows you to go to another country and live there.
if that's what you consider digital nomad is.
Right.
If you feel like within the US in different cities, then that's a different problem.
so using that as a segue, Chris, how would you wrap that together?
So jealousy is a thing, right?
Yep.
You know, and when you watch people tell stories like that, it happens, right? Because it's not us. And I get this all the time because I've been teaching this for a long time, right? YouTube gives us all kinds of perspectives and stories. And so we watch YouTube because it's entertaining, right? Whether he's telling us truth or he's telling us a story to get numbers, we watched it, right? So he made money at the end of the day. So whether or not your videos take off, you have to figure out how to monetize everything, right? I always tell people, if your video gets 1,000 views, to a teenager, that's a failed video, right? But if you get an ROI of 10% on 1,000 views, is that a good day? And that's why social media messes up our numbers, right? If we were to have 100 people in a room watching us speak, we would be through the moon. But to a teenager with 100 views on a video, they're gonna delete that video right away, because that's considered a failure, right? But you always have to remember 10% of a video for your ROI, that's a good day. Because if you're selling a course, if you're selling content, if you're selling anything, templates, and 10% out of 1,000 buys your stuff, regardless of what happened, you still made money. Regardless of your content, right? Because our future is going into a direction that we don't know what's gonna happen, right? We have tools now that are changing everything. And as I told somebody today, when I showed him that article, it's not AI that's scary, it's robots. Robots are coming, right? And people don't really get that. Robots are coming, and I showed this one thing to somebody because they're in construction, and they said, I'll be happy when we have robots that do construction. I said, oh, there's a firm in Germany that does it already. And I sent him the site, and he looked at all these robots, they built a house in a day, right? It's not AI that's scary, it's robots. And there's enough movies we have to show what's coming. So if you want to watch this video later on, this is a video I showed in class I taught a long time ago called The Last Job on Earth. Do you want to watch it now, or do you want to just go home?
We'll go because we want to talk.
Is it just a few minutes?
It's a real short video, but the thing is, this is the reality of what we're coming to, because WALL-E was not a cute Pixar movie. WALL-E was a warning to the world, right? Because we are headed in that direction.
Let's watch it now so we can console each other at the end.
squally, laugh, have a good chat. And understand like, yeah, it's coming, right? So that's why I'm showing these things, because like you have to have a variety of tools in your bucket to do this stuff, right? You have to also remember that we're in a space where tech is sort of like at the cusp of things. There are still societies out there that don't touch any of this stuff. I had somebody today message me saying that they were working with somebody who had never heard of ChatGPT before, right? So you
We
still
have people at Facebook who doesn't know what girls dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for those places, I just hope
Yeah,
that,
no,
that growth become, internally instead of some other outside force, like either colonizes the place or just like wipes the heck out of the place and just trying to start everything over again. That's what I hope for places that are not very developed right now.
Right,
I would like it to be more internal, so the people, indigenous people there can experience growth themselves and not just be unfairly, you know.
Right, of course, yeah, and that's why, like, I remember going to Bora Bora, right? Nobody knows YouTube over there, and nobody's familiar with that stuff, because there's barely any internet, yes?
So I have two questions. The second one is if you were gonna tell us about the coding thing. And
The coding thing?
Yeah, you said you were gonna tell us.
Oh, that was
what
the,
happened.
so that was the article right there, because Replit is,
Oh,
the-
this
yeah,
specific.
this is Replit, and if you've never used Replit before, Replit is like, you go in there, I need this, this, and this, and then it builds everything for you, right? And you can upload screenshots, you can upload videos, and say like, I wanted to do this, and it builds everything right there, right? So it does it all for you, right? So if the reason why I bring this up is because Zillow showcased that we are now moving into a space where software engineering, electrical, all these kinds of spaces are going to be marginalized, and they're gonna be turned into like little bots, right? And now that knowledge is gonna get put into a robot, and then that robot's gonna do a certain thing, right? And so this showcases another example of like where things are headed, and the number of jobs that are gonna get displaced. You know, because knowledge workers are the easiest to replace with AI, right? So robots, on the other hand, are physical. So they're gonna have helper robots, we're gonna have cleaning robots, all those things, because we've seen the movies. Who here has seen Her, right? Her was a wake-up call to how we're gonna be interacting with this stuff in the future, right? Your job is to figure out how do I monetize that, right? How do I sell it?
Well, and humans also become kind of more like coaches. Like in school, for example, if you're like kids are learning now, or will be learning from AI, but like you still need the human contact and coaching. So it's kind of.
That actually goes to my first question, if I may.
Yep.
So I was having this conversation just recently about, yes, for a larger company and gonna take several jobs. Like, I feel like I'm of the mindset that will create, in a sense, a vintage market. So when it comes to like haircuts, or even I worked in the service industry.
Absolutely.
That there are going to be people who want to be served by get a haircut specifically by humans, or have their house made specifically by humans, and then that will create a market.
That's exactly the point. All of this stuff is your portfolio. All of this stuff is your portfolio. That's it. The platform that you apply yourself, I mean, Friday I had an interview, okay? I had a portfolio, and it wasn't just me talking. I was like, hey, I have a website, I have YouTube videos. 1 hour later, I had a job offer, okay? Because I had a portfolio, not because I was making stuff up or just embellishing something, right? It was in the interview.
Skills-based, right? Skills-based.
Exactly. So merit still matters, right? And that was, so we were in a period, and I don't want to get into politics, but stuff, you know, you didn't really need to have a skill set. You just had to have certain attributes and you got the job. I think the time is over. Now it's gonna come to a point where you actually have to have a skill set and prove that you can accomplish something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be adaptable.
Well, that's the advancement of AI is going to flood the market, and it's very soon gonna be indistinguishable from like your online interactions, your online videos. You won't be able to tell it was AI very soon. In fact,
Absolutely,
you can't right now. But what that does is it actually is gonna, yes, lots of business will be funneled that way, but it will create more demand for in-person interactions and quite literally the human skills that just because a human is doing it, it will come at a premium. So that opens up actually a whole market for
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so this morning I saw a video of Elon Musk and I thought it was real because I didn't listen to the content, I didn't read anything, and I thought it was Elon Musk.
Right.
And it was a point made with AI about Elon Musk, and the guy actually admitted it was generated by AI, right? And I was like, wow, why would Elon Musk need to have that done? But now, because there are stories being told about a leader, right? The leadership, the people that we look up to in our life, it's, this whole landscape is gonna be changing, you know.
It is. Also, when the Industrial Revolution hit, and suddenly, you know, spinning Jenny and all these machines were doing work that used to take dozens of people, 100 people to do, the new jobs were created was in making the machines and maintaining the machines. So this will actually generate more jobs, not fewer. There'll actually be more jobs created off of this new technological revolution, and you'll just be doing different things.
So the thing you just showed where somebody did a software in a day, that's a nightmare. Okay, so few things happening because of that. One, junior engineers are not getting hired in companies. In 3 years, there won't be any senior engineers. Okay, and all these people creating intermediary thing, they're creating data that is in their head correct, but it cannot be used for made for any decision in the future. Okay, we are seeing this problem live in the market in companies where people are creating this software using Replit, all these no-go tools and everything. It is really, really hard to make decisions with any of the data they collected or whatever they designed, because there is no coherent thought process in anything they did. It solved the problem at that moment, something quick, they ripped it, they put it into a process. Now every company is stuck with thousands of SaaS and tools like this glued with bullshit. This is worse than 1998. I used to come into companies and ask for their Perl scripts and SQL scripts to figure out what they did in mess. Now we go in and we figure out there is 150 SaaS products, 20 different Replit instances that is independently thing, and it is, this is what we unravel. So.
Yeah, no, yeah. So we have about 1 minute left. I just want to leave you with this. So Austin has the first AI school in the country. And so, in fact, this school right here has been around since September. If you want to go watch the video, in fact, this school right here has a waiting list. Even if you wanted to send your kid there, you cannot do that. Anybody want to take an idea of what the price tag is per student?
48K.
Ooh, you were very close.
What was it?
It is $45,000 per semester.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
So rich people, basically.
It is all people from Westlake. So. But I just want to leave you all with that. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to leave this right here if you want to connect on LinkedIn. But thanks so much. If you want to talk further, I will be downstairs by the couches.
Got your book.
I know. We don't have time. Yes, thank you.
I think it's still gonna be like school and
Yes.
that's what I'm wondering, like, optimistic.
You will get AI taking over entire sectors of jobs that are low skill, easily codable. Right? You will get robots coming in and taking lots of robots putting more necessary. It's not
I have emailed just like, wait, is your email still the same?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Mark.
Hey, Mark.
So what company uses smart contracts? I've always been interested in it, so,
So that was a solopreneur.
We have been,
So
basically
people who are,
worked with
going their own company, finding themselves.
machines and.
When is that?
That's
It's the
month
same,
16.
whenever you hear somebody talk about it, machines.
Okay,
It's
no,
the same kind of thing, where it's like,
Well, it is
just has
a
like-
website.
It was just for us, and it was just kind of like us.
Yeah, exactly.
Monday?
My brother came to Boston.
They are very,
And as some people go to more and more, and brands, there's always somebody who's
it's going good.
There's
Going like,
other brands, and what is missing.
going through all these enterprise
Deal with
I'll be down by this,
people and
But it is
yeah, it's
that
regional
regional
summer
marketing. it has kind of died.
It's all about,
campaigns,
there's a
regional temples,
hidden agenda,
but everything
is,
like
who's sick,
I just build it, everything comes, and they just keep on doing this, you have tons of really interesting comics.
Yeah, exactly, or just like,
Nobody's ever seen them, or if they're going to die, and nobody wants to.
Because I actually see quite a few in the Austin airport.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like they're testing.
Yes, except that what you see in Austin Airport is still, those are like emergent brands, or they're sub high calorie products. They're really,
So I think about
that's because.
which has